Today.
It's a good day. It was another one of those Mondays where you worry about a little bit of a weekend lull, but wasn't there. I mean, they practiced well, came out with the right attitude. No live work, but good stuff. It was a good, intense practice, and got a lot of work done.
What's your main focus this week?
This week is polishing up the offensive install. It's done. The install is pretty much over with, at least for the opening game, and so got to continue to eliminate mental mistakes. All the details of everything we're doing, the exact splits, footwork, all that stuff offensively. Continuing to find that we got 4 O-linemen now that we feel really good about. Braden Daniels being the 4th. So Ford, Paulo, Umana, and Daniels. Now we're just looking for one more. And it was great to have Bam out there today. Bam looks really talented, out of shape, but really talented. Just exceptional size and strength. So that's a big positive for us. But still trying to resolve the kicker. The kickers are still jockeying for position. If they don't separate themselves in 3 or 4 days, I'm just going to have to cut one out of the herd just on gut feel, because we can get it down to 2. But right now, statistically, there's nobody that's eliminated themselves. So that's good and bad. They're all kicking at a pretty decent level. Linebacker depth still a concern, and will be until one or 2 guys step up. Moroni and I starting to do some good things, so that's a positive. And we got Trenton Carlson back. He missed a few days. He was beat up a little bit, but now he's back. So we got 5, but we need 6, and so that's where we're at.
Did the film show anything significantly different than your
No,
naked eye?
no. It was about what we saw. No surprises, good or bad. The 2-minute work was really good. Our 2-minute work prior to the scrimmage had been a little bit rough. It smoothed out in the scrimmage, and the offense did a nice job in the 2-minute session. Defense flew around. Tackling in the live portions was solid, and Jordan Wilmore, like I said, was what we thought he was in the scrimmage. As we watched it live, he was very good.
What about your receiver depth? Do you want 8 receivers, or how many?
8 would be a good number. 8 would be a good number. That's about what we travel with, 8 or 9. Now, the Pac-12 increased the travel limits this year by 4, went from 70 to 74. So that those couple numbers will be sprinkled in there somewhere. So we may take 9 or 10 receivers instead of 8 or 9.
Can you kind of go through your receiver depth right now? How you kind of?
Well, no, it's kind of like, I don't want to compare it to the kickers, but nobody has really just become the guy. We've got 6 or 7 guys between Damari Simpkins, Solo Enos, Von Vele, Covey, Jalen Dixon, Samson Nakua. I know I'm forgetting someone. Terrell Perriman's had a very good fall camp. Dante Banton's doing a nice job, but he has a redshirt year, so we'll see what we decide to do there. And I know I'm forgetting probably 1 or 2, but those are the main core guys.
And then, how about your new assistants, Colton and Sione in particular? How are they fitting in right now?
Doing a nice job, and Colton is the added addition, or the added bonus that Colton brings, is special teams knowledge. He's outstanding special teams wise. Has been a special teams coordinator in the past, and so for Coach Shaw to have a right-hand man in Coach Swan is a big plus. And so he's involved in every special team, and and obviously he's doing a very nice job with the linebackers as well. But anytime you got guys with extensive special teams background and experience, that helps your cause.
And Sione obviously helping.
Yeah, Sione's doing a nice job with those guys. Now he's got good players to work with. It's not a situation where there's a lot of guys to develop right now. There will be down the road. But right now you got Johnny and Lecky and Howard and Pita, and those guys are proven commodities. So he just needs to continue to keep them tuned up and ready to roll.
With the importance of conference games being what they are, if you have guys like Bam or maybe somebody who has a particular injury, would you consider holding them out non-conference to make sure they're ready for conference games?
Well, that's a tough question. Each case would be treated individually, but we're not going to compromise anybody to put them out there. If the trainers aren't giving us the okay and the thumbs up. And so, we want to win every game, obviously, but it really is a trainer decision. If a guy's healthy and ready to go, he's healthy and ready to go, and we'll use him. And if he's not, he's not. So I don't know if that answers your question.
So conference versus non-conference really doesn't matter to you. It's more a medical decision.
It's a medical decision, absolutely. Yes.
By when would you hope to have the 5th lineman solidified?
2 weeks out, which would be what, 3 days from now. That would be great. That would be great to have that fifth guy and 6, 7, and 8 as well in a pecking order. You know, just knowing who's who. But we feel, you know, now that we have 4 solidified, it's a big step, and we just got to get that last guy in the next few days.
Can Bam move into that spot in 3 days?
That'd be a tough deal, but once, and I don't want to make it sound like once we get the 5 guys, that's it, and there's no more competition, but at least those 5 guys will start working together. So the answer is absolutely we can work into that if his play dictates.
Kyle, you mentioned Vele being in that conversation. Has he been a surprise for you guys this camp?
No, because we saw it in spring. He was a surprise in spring. I'll tell you that, because he came out of nowhere, and we didn't know much about him. And came out of nowhere and did a great job. And this fall, he's just picked up where he left off in spring. So he's a guy that is right in the rotation and getting as many reps as any of the other top 6 or 7 guys.
How do you find a guy like that as a walk-on?
Just came back off a mission, didn't have a lot of opportunity out of high school, or didn't get a lot of attention. Continued to develop. You know, I guess he got a little bigger and a little stronger, a little faster in the 2 years, and he just showed up and we're elated. I mean, he's a big plus for us.
Have you ever had a true freshman running back like Jordan Wilmore come in and be this prepared to take on a role?
Zach Moss is pretty prepared, you know, a few years back, but we'll see. It's still early. I don't want to give him too much love right now because there's still a lot of work to be done. But he's been very impressive so far. Still got a lot of work to do.
So how much do you anticipate the backup?
Why do you always use that announcer voice?
Because I'm a
Everyone else
professional.
talks.
I'm a
Everyone else talks
professional, you know,
normal,
Kyle.
and
You're
you
not
come
the
in
only
with the-
professional here, buddy.
Okay, gotcha.
So, with that in mind, Coach,
What was your question?
with how much you anticipate the backup running backs getting participation, touches, catches, running in the game?
I think that's a game-to-game thing as well, depending on how many times we run the football. If we run the football 45 times, Zach Moss is not going to carry it all 45 times, so that's 15 or 20 touches that we got to distribute elsewhere. And so Tyler Huntley will account for a handful of those, and so a dozen to 15 other guys besides Zach Moss and the QB. So we'll see how it goes.
Thank you.
Coach, not sure if you answered this already, but what are the wideouts looking like? And are you seeing speed? Are you seeing agility? I mean, what are you seeing out of those guys?
Seen a lot of good things out of the wideouts. Very few drops this spring. That was a problem for us last fall. Early in the season, we kind of got that under control later on, but they've been very sure-handed. They feel a lot more comfortable this fall than they did in spring with the offense, knowing, having a lot of repetitions under their belt. But there's 7 or 8 guys that are right there jockeying for position, and no one has really separated themselves. Like Zach Moss is the clear separated himself from the backs. There's nobody who's done that in the receiving corps. But that's not necessarily something that has to happen, as long as we got guys we trust and that can make plays.
Yeah, and I was going to say, what about Cody being that, he kind of was an all standout freshman, standout sophomore once he got back from his mission. Now he's kind of going into his junior year after playing 2 full years with you guys. What are you expecting out of him, and what are you looking forward to?
Well, a lot of big things, but he's coming off a pretty severe injury,
Right.
so that's hampered him. Wasn't able to do anything in spring, and then limited in the summer. So he's still working himself back. And the first year he's here, or not the first year, but last year coming off the mission, kind of the same thing, different set of dynamics, but he still had to work himself back off the mission. This year he's working himself back off the injury. So it's very similar to his approach that we had last year as far as just getting up to speed. But when Covey is right and he's hitting on all cylinders, he's a talented kid. He's an all-conference guy in my opinion.
Absolutely.
As you look at the league, I think you've used the word cannibalize in the past.
Yep.
Do you always worry about that happening in this league?
Well, I don't worry about it because our goal is to win the conference, and we can't control anything after that. And so it's not really a concern of mine. My concern is us trying to win the league, and I think it's unfortunate the way the thing is set up with the playoffs, where every P5 conference is not represented, but nothing we can do about that. Control the controllables, and the only thing we control is try to win the Pac-12.
I'm sure you're asked this all the time, but pressure. There's a lot of pressure right now. A lot of talk about Utah. Do you look at pressure? Or you shake it off?
We ignore it. We put as much pressure or more on ourselves than anyone else could externally, and so we don't feel any different this year than we did last year as far as our expectations and what we want to accomplish. And so you know, hopefully the players, unless I'm reading them wrong, I think they're handling it pretty good as well.
You were asked about Rudy Gobert's wingspan. It's 92.91, in case you wanted to ask.
92, so we're 4 inches off the mark. How do you know that?
You can't
I
pass
looked it up.
block like this, though.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Good point.
It's more just vertical.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay. Are those Kanye West shoes?
Yeah, do you hate me for it?
No,